Hey, it's Sean and welcome to my travel channel and welcome to the Pacific Northwest. Today we're exploring the city of Portland, some of the top sites as well as Mount Hood and the Columbia River Gorge. Then later on we're going to be venturing up north to Mount Rainier and the Seattle area, so stay tuned as we explore more of the Pacific Northwest as well. Before we start our adventure, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's begin our journey. When we booked our trip to Portland, one of the things that we wanted to do was go see the Pacific coast. And we're here at Cape Meares, which is along the Pacific coastline, and we're going to explore this particular state park. So let's hit the trail and see what the park has to offer. Right behind me is one of 9 historic lighthouses that are in the area, and it was built in the 1800s. In the 60s, it was replaced by an automatic beacon that is still used today. Now, along the coast, the Oregon coast here, you see a lot of unique beaches that have unique rock formations, which later on some of you may recognize a beach from a very famous movie that we're going to be checking out a little bit later. But first, let's continue on our journey throughout the park here. The last stop on Meares that we're going to see is the Octopus tree, but there's so much to do in this area. There's a lot of state parks that have great different attractions as well as nature that you can take the family and see. So we're coming up on the Octopus tree here, so let's go check that out. This is the Octopus tree. It's one of the biggest mysteries. It doesn't have a central tree trunk, and no one knows how it grew the way that it did with all the different limbs. And it's 100 feet tall, and it's kind of squiggly like an octopus, but it's a really cool, unique feature here in the park. So we're really glad that we were able to see it, but onward to the next adventure. Hey John, this area, this scenery looks so familiar. Is it from a famous movie? Why, yes it is. And can you guess what that movie is? And no, it's not Twilight. If you guess The Goonies, you are correct. One of my favorite movies of all time, The Goonies, one of the scenes was filmed here. And you can see why. They have very unique rock formations that you can see up and down Oregon coast here. So we're going to take a few pictures and then grab a bite to eat. But let's enjoy the scenery here as we watch the sunset. Now, the biggest rock here is Haystack Rock, which for obvious reasons looks like a giant haystack. And one thing we learned is like some of the birds here typically pick like a nest, or they live up in the rock, that way they can avoid predators, which is kind of cool. But what I'm going to do real quick, this has always been a personal goal, was to dip my feet in the Pacific Ocean. That way I can say I've physically have been in the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. So here we go.
But it's the North Pacific. So it's freezing, literally freezing.
If we want to be technical, yes, it is very freezing. Mission accomplished. I would not venture further out there unless I had a wetsuit. Oh. Ooh, Nelly. It's the next morning, and I know, Voodoo Donuts is touristy, but we had to see what all the fuss is about. We purchased way too many donuts for 2 people. They had a variety of flavors such as maple bacon, banana cream pie, and canolas, which we got the blueberry one. How are we just to narrow it down to just two? Their most iconic donut is the Voodoo doll. It's a raspberry-filled donut in the shape of a doll with a pretzel steak in it. Personally, I love the filling in the Voodoo doll. Overall, if you want a sugar rush, this is the place for you. But it is very touristy, and there are many other options in the city. We're heading down to Powell's bookstore. I'm excited to check it out, so let's head there now. Powell's is the world's largest independent bookstore. It literally takes up one city block and has a ton of floors. It's a haven for book enthusiasts. So let's go check it out. Powell's is such a huge maze, but we found the coffee room, so obviously we had to place an order of coffee. It seems like a great place to enjoy a cup of joe and enjoy a good book. There is such a wide variety of books, it's hard to just even pick one out. Even I left with several books. The staff is super knowledgeable and can help you pick out a book for every type of genre. This is a must-do if you're a book lover or book enthusiast, but let's head over to our next stop. Our next stop is the International Rose Test Garden. It's completely free, so it's perfect for those budget travelers out there. And just like the name suggests, they test different types of roses, so you have different hybrids, and also various colors, white, pink, yellow, etc. So let's take a stroll down the garden. We would definitely check out a little bit more, but we're a little limited on time as we have some friends that are getting married. The garden itself is in Washington Park, which there's also a Japanese garden and a fun playground for kids. And like I said earlier, we do have to get to some wedding festivities, but we're hoping post-wedding we'll do a couple other things in Portland, such as the Grotto, see some of the downtown art, and the famous food truck scene. We really enjoyed exploring the garden, but what would you recommend to do in Portland? Put your comments below of what your must-do list for Portland, Oregon is. Today we are exploring the Grotto, which is one of the top destinations in Portland to see. It's run by the Catholic Church, and it's a sanctuary where you can hike around, go to Mass, and just explore the different gardens and statues that they have. So come join me as we explore the grounds here. The Grotto, which is the main feature here, it was carved at the bottom of a 110-foot cliff, but they made the main statue up there after like Michelangelo's Pieta. It's truly a remarkable piece of artwork. So we're going to continue on. It was really interesting. The land was purchased in the 20s from the Union Pacific Railroad, and then the church kind of redeveloped it into creating different shrines. The church acquired different artwork and statues over a period of time. But what we're going to do right now is actually go to the top level. Apparently there's a lot more to explore up there. So let's head to the elevator and go to the next level. I really enjoyed the experience at the Grotto here, and it's a lot bigger than I ever anticipated. And the statues and the artwork were just phenomenal. Kind of follows like a Gothic European style, which I really enjoy. But we're going to continue on our journey throughout the Portland area. So I'll see you at the next place. We're walking to our next stop, and Andrea has been hyping this park up so much that it is, as she claims, the best park ever.
Yeah.
So we'll take a look at it, and you be the judge of your opinion on the park. So let's go see. This is Mill Ends Park, and it is the smallest park ever. It does not go east, west. It's not like there's another portion of the park. It is just this little shrub.
It's more than a shrub.
It's a shrub.
Grass.
It's
It's maintained by Parks and Rec. It's official.
I don't understand. I'll be honest. Portland's motto is keep it weird, and I feel like this definitely embellishes it. It's a great photo op, and that's it. That's all. You can't climb on it. You can't really get a great sunset picture or something.
The water's right over there.
There's more photogenic places. So yes, this is what the hype was all about.
It's the world's best park.
It's the world's smallest park. Let's
And
clarify
also
that.
the world's best park.
Anyway, I'll let you be the judge of it. Put your comments below. One of the most scenic places in Portland is along the river, and it's very photogenic here. Also, in certain spots you can get a great view of Mount Hood on a clear day. Cloudy day may be a little bit more difficult. Another iconic aspect or feature or cultural aspect of the city is our food carts. If you're a big foodie, they are a must-do. Hopefully we'll get a chance to enjoy a food cart, but they're supposed to be phenomenal and they're all over the city. But we're going to continue on our stroll along the river here and take it in. This statue, the Portlandia statue, is probably the biggest or one of the biggest icons or landmarks in the city. It is the second largest statue made of copper, first being the Statue of Liberty in the US. I wish it had like a money bag or something like that, but it's very cool. And I mean, just imagine that this is the second largest one, which is hard to believe. Because you go from Statue of Liberty to this size.
I mean, she's probably like 10 stories up, so it is quite large.
Yeah. All right, let's continue on our journey through the Portland area and keep on going. One of the things that we mentioned earlier were food carts, which are iconic throughout Portland. And if you're a big foodie, it's like a must-do. They have a variety of different food options. We're gonna take a look and get some food at this one food cart area that is called Cartopia, but there is a whole bunch all over the city. So come join me as we take a look. There is a lot of hustle and bustle around the food cart area, and we got some delicious tacos, as well as some soda, which is like a coffee flavor, which was interesting. But you could get like a variety of different foods. I mean, behind me you have a chicken truck, but it's just amazing how it's like kind of a whole block, and you have different options. They have picnic tables and stuff, so it's very community type of driven. But we're gonna dig in, try these pork tacos, and see how they taste. You know, it's a huge part of the food culture here. So our experience here, really great. It's a great place to grab a quick bite to eat, but it's getting late, getting towards our bedtime, and we're kind of old. So we're gonna go home, get a good night's sleep, but we'll see you in the morning. Stay tuned for our next video as we explore the Columbia River Gorge in the Mount Hood area, just right outside of Portland. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but until next time, keep on exploring.